Yeah, boy, that hurt, boy. That hurt. That hurt. Trinidad and Tobago won. Saudi Arabia won. Of all people, the ball landed to Shiggy, boy. And no disrespect to Shiggy, I think Shiggy had a masterclass today. Let me bring out the positive one time. Shiggy had a defensive masterclass today. I would even go on to say probably the man of the match. Shiggy had an amazing game in the back. You guys have no idea how Shiggy elevated Alvin Jones, who was, somebody who struggles within the central positions of the defense. Shiggy was really good. He was commanding in the back. Also, his defensive acumen was good as well too. He was reading the game. Not to mention the final goal line clearance at the end of the game. Shiggy had an amazing game. I think the only person that could come near him is the goal scorer. We'll talk about him in a minute. But man, oh man, oh man. In the dying stage of the game, Nathaniel James skips past two players, slips the ball through for Garcia. And you would be thinking that it's Levi Garcia. If it was Levi Garcia, then Trinidad and Tobago would have get that second place and go to the next round of the World Cup. But unfortunately, we have a traditional centre-back getting on the end of a through ball, in on goal to the goalkeeper. Hits the crossbar, and that deserves any chance of Trinidad and Tobago going to the next round, boy. If that was Levi Garcia, that was it, bro. Like, this hurt more than the USA game. Swear down, boy. This hurt more. Like, getting embarrassed 5-0, it is what it is. The team better. But for the majority of the game, Trinidad and Tobago always had a puncher's chance, but at Dante Sealy, there wasn't nice with the footwork and the jabs and them stuff there, but they always had that Hail Mary punch that could knock out anybody. And that is a sad reality, boy. This is the end of our World Cup campaign. We could leave where we head held high, but it still was just like, oh man, if we just would sharpen up in these areas, these tiny little intangibles, if we just sharpen up with that, we would have been in the next round. And this is a Saudi Arabia team that have professional footballers that play in the Saudi League. These guys play in the Saudi League against people like, and with Cristiano Ronaldo, Riyad Mahrez, Roberto Firmino, Fabinho, all these Premier League players. These guys learning from these players here. And that just shows that the Trinidad and Tobago team has been making improvement because we were in the game. We could have won the game. But to get into the specifics, again, Trinidad and Tobago won, Saudi Arabia won. Trinidad and Tobago scores first, courtesy of the best goal of the tournament, according to the commentators as well too. Finesse from Finesse School, from Dante Sealy. I sure that every Trinidad and Tobago fan was just like, to actually go in? Because it just shocked me. It was just like against the runner play, he just cuts in and just smashes it up into the top corner, boy. Up in the vegetable, the V. I'll give Dante Sealy, I damn near might say, either between him and Shiggy, these guys were the two best players on the pitch, boy. Very efficient. Dante Sealy was running at the brother who scored the offside goal later on in the game. I don't know him, but apparently he plays with Roma. Dante Sealy was having the time of his life with boy. And it was a nice battle as well too. The guy, he was up for the challenge, and that is something that the players them could look forward to as we go into the World Cup qualifiers. We're meeting against proper oppositions, teams that will get in your face, and they need to get into the face of teams like Jamaica and Curacao, Bermuda even. So again, I'll reiterate, the World Cup was meant to be a dress rehearsal for the World Cup qualifiers. We're still looking to get into the World Cup, even though we're hearing all that news with Curacao getting good results against Canada, who is a powerhouse team in Concacaf. We still can't take that at face value. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, Canada might have some deficiencies that Trinidad and Tobago have strengths in, that Curacao could exploit Canada as opposed to Trinidad and Tobago. We never know. Football crazy. A team that could beat Stoke City easy might catch the tail to beat them. So you never know. So getting into the defense in particular, very much improved. Very much improved. Normally you would have seen some plenty gaps in behind, and you wasn't seeing no talking, no communication. Normally we used to be just one big ball beating everybody. I saw a level of defensive acumen, and again I had to big up Justin Garcia. Justin Garcia looked the more senior of the two centre-back pairings. Even though Alvin Jones, he'd put in the work, we were still seeing that he was uncomfortable inside it because, again, he's not a central defender. But the guy raised Alvin Jones' level, and Alvin Jones ended up in the second half, even though had a very shaky start, because in the first, 2 minutes, I saw Alvin Jones, chop a ball and the ball get away from him. I was like, oh my God, not today again, Alvin Jones, boy. Because again, I respect Alvin Jones as a player. I respect Alvin Jones as a person. So I don't want to be too critical of Alvin Jones because, again, I respect him a lot. But he ended up catching back himself. And Alvin Jones raised the level very high to the point where I could naturally see, yes, he had a good game. So, shout out to the defense. This game was mainly played on the right-hand side. There was just killing Rio Cardines every single time. But Rio Cardines stood his ground. Rio Cardines had a very good game as well today. Shout out Rio Cardines, young guy. Every now and again he might get caught out ball watching, and it comes with the territory. You're young, you're a young defender. That will happen. You need your centre back to guide you with that. And again, Alvin Jones not a traditional centre back, so he did the best that he could, and I had to give Rio Cardines a proper shout out as well too. Rio Cardines had a very good game. Andrew Raymond does his thing again, but again the ball wasn't really being played on that side as much. So that is pretty much the defense. The defense. Solid, in my opinion, not as crazy as it was back in the USA game. So we actually could see that improvement taking place, and that's what we need moving into the World Cup qualifiers. The midfield now, and it pains me, boy, but Kevin Molino today wasn't on it, boy. Like, he was very good within the work rate. He was putting in the work. He and Daniel Phillips was up and down, gaining everything. There was gain involved in every single play, and I had to give them the ratings there. However, and even the commentators were saying that every time they had the ball, it's like they were taking like 3 seconds to gather their thoughts and say, what pass are going to play? And they end up losing the ball. I don't think they complete as much passes as they needed to. So that's the only asterisk I have with Kevin Molino. But again, he did put in the work defensively, and this setup normally we used to be getting split with the one ball. The midfield did a perfect job in ensuring that we do get split. Andrew Rampasad on the other hand, he had a good game. Very good game. Very efficient. Kept the ball moving. Put in the defensive work. He was very good in my opinion. Andrew Rampasad was the best midfielder today, in my opinion. Right? To the wingers. Real Gill, very direct, but just wasn't his day, to be honest. He tried best to get past on people and, wasn't the most efficient player. But still, I'm still thankful that he still try and give it best. If you want him with Real Gill, he will give you his best of all time. Like he will always try to keep things moving forward and be as direct as possible. But today just wasn't good enough. Dante Sealy, on the other hand, as I mentioned before, amazing goal. He was just all on that guy. Pause. Like he was just there going every single time. Always wanted to face up and reach up to him. And that's the players that we need in Trinidad and Tobago team right now. Dante Sealy, I think today, sealed his spot for like the next upcoming 5 years. But yeah, that was a performance and a half today from Dante Sealy. But again, as I mentioned before, it's either between him or Shiggy that will have the man of the match for me. Them guys were just really good today. Now for the forward, and of course, that my player, Levi Garcia, I think for certain spells he was looking good. However, he had times where, he wasn't creating more fluidity within the team. Like whenever he was going on ISO ball, he had sometimes get a pass. He had a time when he was like on top of the box and he could have slipped Gill and Gill could have got shut off. I don't know what going on there. But for the most part, Levi had a good game. Like he was playing the point striker for majority of the game, and whenever the defenders tried to come on him, he was bullying them. He was bigger, stronger, faster, but just that again, not enough service was coming his way in particular. At best, he might get a cross and he had to gather something, but Them kind of threw ball, and that was I was asking, I was begging for Dwight to put on Natty James. It's a bit earlier. If Natty James was playing in the camp position where Kevin Molino was, where he could have run at people and then slip in Levi Garcia, man, I think we would have a chance then. But all in all, man, I'm super proud of the team. Marvin Phillip was decent, I guess, Didn't have really much to do per se. Most of the shots them that took place, it either was offside or he just narrowly missed or something. So he didn't really have much saves to make. But for the most part, he was competent within like the ball distribution and all them stuff there. So he was pretty decent. But again, yeah, I'm proud of the team, man. I'm proud of the team. Does this mean a good thing for the World Cup qualifying? We gotta wait and see. But it definitely is a step towards the betterment of the Trinidad and Tobago national team. So this is the end of the long football camp that they had. It was from Unity Cup straight into the World Cup qualifiers, straight into the Gold Cup. That is a lot of football for these guys here who not really like professionals like that. The only professional footballer I could see that does play like week in, week out is probably like Levi Garcia, Spicer, Dante Sealy. But like for the guys who don't be playing like pro league football, them so don't really be playing like that. They might, they might get a couple games, but within like these teams who Levi they be playing with, them so be getting like European football and the 2 weeks in like 2 games in a week and them kind of thing. The most salary Trinidad and Tobago people ain't gonna get that. So it's a nice experience for the Trinidad and Tobago team. Hopefully we gain a lot of experience from this and we can move forward for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. Again, I employ the fans them. Whenever we have home games, come out and support the guys them. Again, I saw a lot of people them was saying that from seeing Curacao defeating Canada that with chances slim and not defeating Canada but drawing with Canada and actually bossing Canada that with chances slim, let's wait to see what happens. Let's not just judge based off a performance against another team. Let us see them against us, and then we could be able to judge. But apart from that, it's a step in the right direction for Trinidad and Tobago football. But it still hurts, man. Still hurts. I genuinely believe we could have make it there, boy. But until now, we just had to have this fun memory that we played Saudi Arabia and left with a point. It is going to be historic for the national team because Saudi Arabia, they're developing football. Saudi Arabia has injected a lot of money into their football to the point where, they have a recognized league and all these players playing against these professional players that they're just bringing in that they scalp from the various European leagues. And they have seen that there's a level of football that has been learned within Saudi Arabia because before, back in the day, Saudi Arabia wasn't no team to talk about before the money injection. But now Saudi Arabia is a team to fear. And I know that a lot of the players them was out for the Club World Cup and everything there, but it still was proper players there. So I give Trinidad and Tobago credit. So I just want to know how you guys feel about this. Like again, I deflated. It just hurt, but it just really, really hurt. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe. Why it is you guys ain't subscribing, boy, press the subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook if it is here on Facebook. Follow me on all platforms, boy. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on everything, boy. Follow me. And yeah, let's get more Trinidad and Tobago content going. But for now, the Trinidad and Tobago content got stopped for the while. I don't know if we might have any friendlies with it before the World Cup qualifiers, but if it is, we don't. I'll see you guys in September once again. I might just giving you guys updates on the Trinidad and Tobago players and how they developing within the clubs. But until then, see you guys later until September. So peace out. Trinidad and Tobago up, Soca Warriors up. We're improving slowly but surely.